Greetings, viewership. Welcome to something different for this channel. Recently, as part of a few friends, we went to see Weird Al Yankovic in his 2022 Vanity tour. You can see the full title of this tour on his Moses-like tablet. Now, I'm making this video so that if you're curious about the experience, especially the VIP experience that we underwent, you can seriously consider for yourself if this is what you want, or you can be like, okay, that sounds interesting, or totally not. So, you might be wondering, was this VIP experience worthwhile? Well, that depends who you asked. So, one of my friends? Probably. For another one of my friends? Absolutely, and for me, also absolutely. But let me tell you a story about why, after a like and a subscription. So, dear viewership, yes, the Weird Al Yankovic VIP access got us, well, access to the extras that you see on the screen. As well as at the theater, we got access to, well, a drink ticket. We got an extra drink. I was not able to find it in time, so I could not use it on that day, but I still have it as memorabilia. We got a spiffy badge that said VIP on it. That's this blue thingy in the back. And we got a poster. Each of us got a separate poster with this image, with this image that also had Weird Al sign it at the end of the night, and just include our name on it as was written on our VIP badge. Now, the show was generally spectacular. It was wonderful, but yes, it will probably be different when you listen to it, if you listen to it. Now, as for what we experienced because we were VIP, well, one, we were encouraged to get there notably early. The show for us started at 8, and this show was in Milwaukee at the Market Center in Elim Hall. I know it's kind of spelled like Ulim Hall, but that's German or Deutsch for you. We arrived about, well, 2 hours early compared to the main show, and we were part of the pre-show festivities, which included a bunch of people, well, just gathering around and geeking out over Weird Al trivia. 3 people were called up on stage for Weird Al Jeopardy. I was not one of them, but I would eventually be seated pretty close in our VIP seats to someone who was on stage. Uh, sometime during the night, I did get to talk to the 3 people who were part of this Jeopardy event, and they were all excited that they got to attend, regardless of what they won, which was mostly just the opportunity to be on stage, and sometimes, well, geek out over Weird Al trivia. Beyond this, uh, well, we had about an hour between when the pre-show activities ended, which was mostly just Jeopardy and people laughing about things, and the host of this Jeopardy tournament calling a guy an idiot repeatedly for whatever reason, and when the main show for everyone began. So, yes, during this time, I took an opportunity to just buy one of his shirts because I wanted it and I wanted to support the artist. I took some pictures and, yeah, just got to mingle with some of the people who were waiting for the show to begin, including, as it turns out, one of the people who was on Jeopardy, who will remain nameless for her, well, privacy. But, well, yeah, we drastically enjoyed this experience because it was because yes, it was a wonderful show. We had a part 1 of the show with stand-up comedy by Emo Phillips. That was about 45 minutes, and we had about a 15-minute intermission. Then we had about an hour and a half to an hour 45 Weird Al performing on stage and just sitting. So he had like 2 songs that I didn't especially like, but let's just say they were average compared to the rest of the songs, which were, well, things that I either knew or liked enough. And people in the audience who were, well, fans were singing along to a bunch of the lyrics. And I haven't, and It's been a long time since I've felt such wonderful energy. The feeling that you're part of a crowd that absolutely loves what's going on, and the performers on stage absolutely love what's going on. Even though Weird Al had just come back from about a week of mandatory rest from having COVID, and James, which was one of his band members, the Grammy award-winning one, or at least one of them, was backstage performing because he had COVID and he didn't want to infect the audience. So, yes, after the show, well, the people who had the VIP access were taken to the top level of the theater, and we were all put in what seemed to be a small ballroom, all about 100 of us, where we were given thorough instructions on what we should be doing next. Among them, sing happy birthday to the guy whose birthday it was. For anyone who had school the next day, or had to be awake really early, but mostly the people who were kids or parents of kids who had school the next day, yeah, you have priority in the line. And then, yeah, the next part was waiting, and then eventually the wait was over, and we got to take a picture with Weird Al. He was on one side of one side of a clear screen. We are on the other side. Uh, People could take their pictures individually or as part of their group. So maybe you were part of 2 or 3 people. Yeah, we had a bunch of individual pictures in our group. Only individual pictures in our group. And then there was a second round of line and waiting where, yeah, we got the poster, Weird Al signed with our names, and we could deliver a special message to him. I told him, or more specifically, I asked him what he thought about performing gospel, because that's one genre that that Weird Al just hasn't done to any degree, to my present understanding. He said maybe he would for his next album. He also said that he might have done something with Taylor Swift that was at least similar to gospel, but based on my brief Googling, I could not find anything specific. The most common result I found with them together was uh, Weird Al's parody of You Belong With Me, the Weird Al song TMZ. So, ultimately, the time after the show until we were dismissed from the theater, having gotten our chance to meet Weird Al, was about 2 hours. Overall, we were there about 6 hours. So the verdict stands that it was a wonderful show. It was a wonderful time, and we actually got to sit in row 11. So we were row 11 seats, 31, me and 32, and yeah, 33. So I was in the middle of this. My music friend was like, it's probably worthwhile based on her reaction, but then again, she basically skipped dinner. We all skipped dinner, and yeah, she just felt kind of icky coming into this, so she was in that sort of mood. Meanwhile, one of my other friends and I, well, she being a comedian, me being, well, a bunch of things, we've liked Weird Al a lot, and yeah, this was just it was a delight to be able to sit in row 11 and be able to see a person-sized Weird Al and his band, instead of like a dot that's happening from like 1,000 feet away, or something like that. And yes, various people did record various things during the show, still images and video. I was not one of those people who spent the entirety of the song set just recording stuff. I had battery power to manage, but I did get some like one video of one song that just seemed interesting. I took a bunch of still photos, and we were encouraged to take some still photos, not videos. But people are going to do what they're going to do. So, in addition to this, we also got the mug mailed to us. We got the picture with Weird Al mailed to us. Well, it hasn't arrived yet, to my knowledge, at least on my end. But just give them a bit. They've been busy. They have 133 or so more shows to record, or at least perform, and at least as of this recording. And yeah, we also got the coffee. So I haven't used the coffee. I haven't used the other stuff, but I do plan to get a picture frame. Now, in terms of VIP concert benefits, well, I haven't I haven't had any other concerts to fairly compare this to. For example, I haven't been a big enough fan of anyone else to uh, pay top dollar to see them in person. So yes, as much as I've liked artists like Billy Joel and Ariana Grande, I've I just haven't seen them in person, and I haven't paid VIP prices. From what I've heard, some modern big names can get like $1,000 or thereabouts, or even more per VIP ticket. And when I was in charge of getting VIP seats for 3 people, and each ticket was about $400 after taxes and fees, and well, our endeavors included about $10 worth of gas and $43 worth of pizza, and I was the one paying for all this, in part because it was a birthday celebration, and I wanted to help one of my friends who was celebrating a birthday last month. I'm celebrating my birthday in about a month, and my other friend is celebrating her birthday in about 2 months. So yeah, it was a mutual birthday celebration, past, present, and future, or at least past and future, and we were just glad to let me pay for it. So yeah, I enjoy the show. The chance just to see Weird Al in person, close up, instead of being so far away, to make him seem like a person, that was a pleasant surprise. To see him actually wearing gray hair and kind of having like scrawny, skinny arms, and looking kind of tired because he'd probably been awake for like 16 or 18 hours. Because by the time he got to our place in line, it was about midnight. So there. My overall rating: I do recommend this concert, totally, and I do recommend the VIP access if you can get it, even if you aren't a super fan, because this way you get to actually enjoy the show. You get to see Weird Al, and you get to be among a bunch of like-minded people who really, really have liked Weird Al, or whose sister got them the tickets for Christmas or something like that. So, overall rating: do it. Thank you, everyone. Good night, and God bless.